Good afternoon again, everyone. Good afternoon. We are here again for another session today. I just want to welcome everybody who's on the Zoom right now. Again, my name is Joshua Brown. I'm a second year special education major from the Mike University College. And today we'll be exploring Google Classroom. And I'm just going to show you a few tips and tricks I know in Google Classroom. And for those who are not aware of Google Classroom or know how to use it, we'll go from the basics about what's Google Classroom, how to create a Google Classroom, how to access it both on the computer and a mobile device. So today we're going to have three segments. The first is how to access the Google Classroom. The second is how to create the classroom. The third, part of the Google Classroom, and I'm going to show you some smart and appealing ways of making children interested in actually going onto the classroom and actually doing work. And I will just have a few rules for the session online. One, if you have a question, raise your hand. For the most part, I would like everybody to stay muted for the time being. But if you have a question, just raise your hand. All materials and links that I utilize today will be sent to your email afterwards, and there will be a link sent into the chat for all the materials actually utilized today. So before we begin, any questions? I'm seeing someone has their hand up. You can go ahead and ask the question. Yeah, maybe you don't have a question then. Right. So we are going to begin. Let me just. So has everybody seen my screen? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are. Give me a thumbs down if you're not. Okay. So we're going to begin. So the first thing we're going to actually want to know about is that really, how do we even access the Google Classroom? That's the first and foremost thing that we want to know. So the easiest, before you even go to how to access it, what is Google Classroom? So for many, Google Classroom is a learning management system where students go online and interact with their teachers, both in asynchronous and synchronous sessions. This means that think of the Google Classroom as a physical classroom itself. Think of it as a normal classroom where you can interact with your students face-to-face utilizing Google Meets, right? Or you have an additional option of actually posting work to allow the students to actually complete while you are not online. So it has that double feature. So the first thing we're going to learn about is how to find Google Classroom and how to really access it. So the quickest and easiest way to find it, pull up a browser, go into the URL section and just type Google Classroom. Once we type Google Classroom, of course, given us the option of locating a Google Classroom. We select the link to Google Classroom because we're logged into our account. And when we have reached the Google Classroom, if it's the first time you're actually utilizing it, this is what you're going to see. A blank empty space saying Google Classroom. There's nothing there. And the second thing we want to know is that, okay, since I have my Google Classroom right here, it is blank. How do I create a class for my students? How do I invite my students to join my class? How do I structure my content in my class itself? So what we'd simply do for that, it actually gives you some options on the screen as well. Because if you look right here, it says create or join your first class. So for the students now, they would click the option that says join your first class. But for the teachers, you would click the option to say create your own class. So what we do is just click on the create button right here, and we say we're going to create a class. Now, when you actually go to create a class, there'll be this terms and agreement that actually comes up and tells you some things about Google Suite for Education. So it really depends on the type of Google account you have. But if you have a basic Google account, it is fine. It is well. If you don't have one of the MOE schools account, it is totally fine. It is well. You can utilize it the same way. just click like you've read to the terms and agreements and continue. And right here is the beginning of Google Classroom, in which you select your class name. So some persons who are at the primary school, for example, if we have primary school teachers and special education teachers, they normally utilize one classroom to teach all the subjects, right? So they just actually, for the class name, instead of putting the subject for here, instead of putting actual subject, for the class name, it could be grade 7. Let's say if we are at a special needs school, grade 7, no, grade 7. Let's say about grade 7, right? And your physical classroom, if you were face-to-face, you'd have a physical classroom on the campus or on the school compound. So it's room 7, right? And let's say, for example, the subject you're going to teach is science, right? So your class name will be grade 7, and you could put grade 7 Mr. Rowe, grade 7 Mrs. Bogle, grade 7 Mrs. James. You could read it any way you want to. But for now, we're just going to use this as the default information. So we're going to go ahead and create a classroom. So we're going to wait until it's creating. This normally takes a few seconds or so. And as you can see, as it's created, it will bring you straight into the classroom. But in case it doesn't, this is what you'll see. Grade 7. You will see that grade 7 right there. And that is your classroom. So when you click on it, it brings you into the main part of the classroom, which is your stream page. So on the stream page itself is where most of the information is posted. So you can think of the stream page as a welcome board and also as a notification board. So anything happens within the classroom, it pops up on the stream page. Any notifications you send, any classwork you post, anything, it pops up on the stream page to notify the students that, hey, my teacher posted something. Hey, I have some assignments to do. So you can really think of the stream page as your go-to notice board. And apart from the stream page, we have 4 main pages on the Google Classroom. And this is on the teacher side, right? So on the teacher side, you'll see 4. On the student side, you'll only see 3. So on the teacher side, we have the stream page, which is, we can call our notice board or our welcome board. And in the classwork, this is where majority of the work happens. This is the meat, as I call it, the meat of the Google Classroom. Not meat as in the application used online, but the full meat that you eat. This is the meaty part of Google Classroom where everything happens right here. Right here, you actually can create the different subtopics, right? Some topics that actually going to do for the day. And you'd actually post assignments, homeworks, content right here. Right now, I'm just going to give you an overview of how everything is. And in the people section, right, you're going to see teacher, which is me, Joshua Brown, student. When you add a teacher, for example, you can have a class. Let's say, for example, it's just one class. So let's say it's grade 7 special, one class, and you have different teachers who teach math, language, communication studies, a lot of diverse subjects and topics, right? So what happens is that you would actually add an additional teacher and they're able to edit that same Google Classroom, posting information, posting meeting dates, and actually posting assignments as well. And at this part, we have the teacher sections and also students section right down there. All the students who are added to the classroom will be posted right there. They'll be added right there. So you can actually see them physically in the classroom. And as you can see right here at the base, it actually gives you an invite option to invite the students. But these 2 symbols right here, it says invite student and also invite teachers. So we're moving on from the people section to the grade section. See the grade section? is another beautiful part of the Google Classroom. Any assignment you send out, once it is graded and the students complete that assignment, the grades will automatically be posted right here. So in a sense, the students can actually see their grades real time, and you can actually post feedbacks of their grades real time. So in another session, we'll be actually learning how to post the assignments, view grades and those stuff. But in this one, we're just learning the basic overview and the different components of the Google Classroom. So since you actually know how that part go, I'm just going to go over it another time. So the first way we actually get to Google Classroom is that we simply open a tab, we type in Google Classroom, we search, right? We click on Google Classroom, sign in. And if you have more than one account on your computer, it might bring you to a separate classroom. But for this specific one, I'm going to actually show you a classroom that I created. But for you, what you'd actually do, if you haven't created one before, when you're on this page, you simply click on the plus option to your extreme top right-hand corner of your little logo that you normally see yourself right there. You click on add. You can either join a class, which is to join a pre-existing class as a student or a teacher, depending on if they send you the link. And you'd actually go and create a class if you're starting fresh, if you're starting brand new. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to actually look at some of the components of an established Google Classroom and how it looks different. So this is a grade 8 special class, right? And as you can see right here, I actually have the banner in the back of the classroom. In addition to the banner, it also has the Meet link. So the Meet link is similar to the Zoom link that you actually get. So when students come into the morning, they know that, hey, it's an asynchronous session, so I'm actually seeing my teacher face to face. I would actually click on the link. They're into the classroom so that I can see the teacher face to face and do the work. So right as you can see right here, I have in the back, welcome students to the House of Fun. So in the background right here, you can actually create something interactive, something fun for actually catch the students' eye to say, okay, this is what this class is all about. And as I scroll on right here, remember again, this is my stream page or my notice board where everything pops up. So on the students' end, they'll be seeing this as well. So they'll see host minds, they'll see that they have, okay, daily register in which you'll select and register for the class, student score and progress, which is a scoreboard I created. So students can actually go online to see their progress, to see, okay, I want this amount of points a day. And below that, I have a resource drive or a file drive that any additional material I want students to read and I don't want to actually post it in the classwork section, they can actually access it and read it from there. And there's also something called the free zone, which is just a Padlet for students to really introduce themselves. And we're going to actually go over to the classwork section. As you can see right here, my classwork looks a bit different. So the number one thing to do when you're actually setting up the classworks and some different topics is to use emojis. Emojis are very fun and they are very appealing to students. So once they see an emoji, they'll be like, okay, this sparks my interest. I want to take a look at what this person is doing. So as you can see right here, I have a section called announcements. Under this, any announcements I want for my students to know for the day, they'll know it. I have a section called class recordings. When you have the Google Meets class, if you have an education account, it gives you the option to record the classes. When the classes are ended, it will actually download the recording to your computer and you post it right there. So the students can actually physically see that class that actually occurred. Then we have our topics, mathematics. As you can see, I use a little ruler to actually showcase that it's math. Language arts, I utilize the book to actually show that it's language arts. Social studies, utilize a globe. Integrated science, I utilize somebody holding a beaker. Computer class, I utilize the computer emoji. So subtle things like this would actually spark the interest of students going into the Google Classroom. It will actually show them that, hey, this is something different. This is something I want to keep my eye out for, right? And when we go into the people section right here, as you can see, this is our classroom. You have me as a teacher and we have two students, the spiritual coordinator and Diana Denton. Those are the students within the classroom. So remember when I said earlier, when we're at the classroom on the teacher's end, you will see 4 options. And those 4 options are stream, which is your notice board, classwork, which is where you populate the majority of the information, the assignments, the whole bulk or the meat of Google Classroom is in classwork, people, which is actually teachers and students, and grades, which is the grade for students. As you can see right here, it will show up like this. Any assignment I post, it will actually show the assignment and show the student's grade as well. And you can actually grade them from here. But what we're actually going to do right now is to see how it looks on the student's end, right? So right here is a student's account, which I sent him an invite to join the classroom. So he's going to join the classroom. So as you can see, when he actually joined the classroom, it looks a bit similar, but in the top section, certain things change. We have stream, classwork, people, but it does not give you the option to show grades because the grades will only be shown when you as a teacher complete the grades and send it out to the students. And how the grades are viewed, it is viewed per student. So no one student will see all the grades for the other students. So as you can see right here on this page, I have disabled the option for them to actually make comments. So this is what they see in the morning. They come on, they see, okay, daily class register. When they click on class register, it will open up a new page in which I link to a Google form. They fill out their first name, the date is the date of the class. So they say today's date. Are you finished? Yes. Submit. So voila, they're registered for today's class, right? The other thing they can do as well, if they see the scoreboard, it's another quick, cheeky application. When they click on it, they say, okay, today's score sheet. Okay, we're seeing that Diana Denton has 112 scores. That means that she's leading the class. We see that Brian Brown, 61%, and Ryan Brown, 3%. So this can actually be edited from your end as well. This is an additional application. Apart from that, when you go into classwork, the students see the different sections of the Google Classroom, in addition to the materials that are posted underneath it, right? So as you can see right here, for class recording, it says all class recordings will be placed below. So this is how the students would actually access this particular part of it, right? And this is just a look of how it would really look overall. But what we're going to do right now is that I'm going to open the floor for anybody who would like to ask a quick question, because we're actually going to physically design one of the classrooms right now. So if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and I'll answer it as quick as possible. Then I'll go ahead and actually make the physical classroom using the same emojis and the same additional features. And you can also utilize the chat if you have any quick questions you'd like to ask. Okay, Kristen, you can go ahead. You can unmute and go ahead and speak. Are you able to unmute? So if you're not able to unmute, you can just actually send it into the chat as well. All right. So anybody else has a question? Okay. Bernard Salmon, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, good afternoon. I am just interested in finding out how is it that you create the class register?
of the class
and
register.
have it available for the students to log in on a daily basis.
All right. So for that, I'll do a separate video and I'll post on my YouTube channel in which you can go ahead and subscribe to, and you'll actually see how it's done. It's a pretty simple process.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else has a question? Doubt that Christian can actually unmute at the time, so we'll just move right on to actually creating. Oh, how do you access the emojis? Okay, so you have a good amount of ways to access the emojis. So first, what I'm going to do, we're actually going to go in the Google Classroom that we originally created called Grade 7. We go into this classroom. So let's say we want to design it up a little bit, right? The first thing we're going to actually design is the top theme right here. We go on theme, select theme. It will open this box to give us some normal customary themes, right? That we can select and choose. So let's say today's class is going to be a science class. So we'd want to look for something science related. We go on the top here, which says math and science, and we click on something that looks a bit sciencey. Then we click at the bottom that says select class theme. So we change the theme to a purple sciencey look. Then the next thing we actually do right here, right, is to go into classwork. And the first thing I'll actually do is create the separate categories, right? So the first we'd want to have is topics. So topics are like the different segments or actual topics that things come under. For example, we create a topic and we actually call this announcements, right? But how we can actually get the emoji within this right now, see if you're on a normal computer and you actually have Google Chrome installed, you can go to the Chrome web store. While in the Chrome web store, you can simply type emoji. When you type emoji, you will see this one show up first. It's an add-on that will be added to the top right-hand corner of your Chrome browser. If you use Edge, it will add on right up there. If you're using Internet Explorer now, I don't think it would work with Internet Explorer. But right here, click on emoji keyboard. This is going to say remove because I have it installed already, but I'm going to remove it first and show you. So click add to Chrome. It will say check-in. You'll see this option. You click add extension. So we'll do some preliminary checks on your computer. It will actually download in the corner. You just have to wait on this process. It will download and install on its own. You don't have to do anything else. It is allowed to download and install on its own. So meanwhile, we're waiting for that to install. We're going to quickly jump back onto our page and we're going to work on some other things. So we can actually add the announcement section for the time being. As you see right there, it says announcements, right? We can create another category or another topic called, as you're going to call it, parts of the body as a topic, for example. Oh, let's the topic be the body instead of parts of the body. So we're going to change our topic to just the body. So this will tell students how they're going to actually explore the body itself. As you can see right here, when you actually have two topics, when you click on them, you can just click on them to quickly rearrange them in any way, shape, or form you actually want to do it. But I'd recommend always keeping announcements to the top part of it. And as you can see right there, the emoji application was just installed. And if you want to go ahead and quickly rename this as something different, there's 3 little dots at the right-hand corner right here. You click on rename. It brings back this rename box. So in that same little application or little extension that we downloaded, we just click on it to the top right-hand corner up here. And we want to look for something that actually mimics an announcement. So we look in this emoji bin right here, we see a lot of things. And let's say we want something looking like a speaker or something kind of shouting, right? You can either just search for it, or you can actually type in speaker, and then we see this emoji that we like, right? You click on it down here. Once you click on it, it's going to automatically say copied, right? What that means is that it's already copied in the clipboard, right? So what you do, you click on here, you'll press Control V, it's pasted. Or if you don't want to press Control V, you can actually right click in the box and press paste, and you'll see the speaker actually paste right there. You can paste one before and one afterwards. Then you click rename, and when it's renamed, voila, you actually see the speaker and the announcements in the middle. And it's the same thing with the body. We actually go up here and we're going to search body, anything that looks like something has to do with the body. So if you want to use a heart, we have the heart copied. And we're going to actually click back here and go on rename topic, the body. We hold on. So we paste. So the funny thing is that not all of the emojis will be recognized. So it's best to use the most simplistic ones and the ones that persons are used to. So we could actually copy the nose. So for the body, again, we click rename the nose right there. Then we go up here again and we can click, we can search for the ears. It's copied, we click back here, we paste it and rename. So when they go on, they'll see announcements, the body. And they'll see a nose and an ears that would actually indicate to them that, okay, today's topic is going to be the body, right? And it's the same thing with creating the other topics and headings. You just click on create topic, then you would actually type in the next topic that you want to do. So I'm going to do 2 topics today. So let's say, for instance, right now, we're here, we have our announcements, right? Let's say we want to create an announcement to tell students that, okay, today's class will be asynchronous, or today's class will be on Zoom, right? We'll actually click on the create option right here, and it will actually best select create material, and you can write, please note today's class will be on Zoom. And right here, if you use Google Meet, you can actually paste the Zoom link right there. And then over here, it gives you some additional options. It will be automatically set for grade 7, but for students now, click on all students. For the topic over here, you click on announcements. And as you can see, the emojis even still showcase right there. Click on announcements. Then you click on post. And as you can see, when the students come on, they'll see, okay, today's announcements. Please note, classes will be on Zoom. When they click into the announcement, I don't have a Zoom link now, but right here, you'll actually see the Zoom link that they will click on, and they're able to be accessed straight to the Zoom. All right. and you'll be able to access the session right there. So another quick thing you can actually do is that, see the same place here on the front right here, you can actually post announcements and post materials right there that are things that you want the students to see immediately at the start of the class. So one of the core things that you could actually do is to, one, utilize emojis as much as possible, but don't overuse them so the students will pay attention to the emojis more than the actual work that they're supposed to do. And as it pertains to the banner as well, when you're going to select themes, always use a theme that really speaks to your classroom or speaks to the topic that you're going to teach. And for the teachers who actually just use one classroom, right, to just teach all of the subjects, I would suggest taking this approach, right? We have announcements, class recordings, mathematics, language arts, and then under that, you'd actually post your content. That is the best way to actually do it. All right. So at this time, I just did a quick run through. At this time, I'll be taking any questions person would have, any concerns, or if you'd like me to go over any aspect of this. You can go ahead and unmute or raise your hands and ask your questions at this time. Okay. Miss Cranston, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, you can go ahead.
Afternoon, it is Cranston.
All right, thanks. Miss Cranston, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, so my question is, after you have made the announcement aspect of the Google Classroom, right? Can you please tell me how you actually add an announcement, the classroom section, where you create?
So what you do to actually add an announcement is that when you're right here at the stream page and you see the announce right here, when you click here, it says announce something to your class. All right.
I'm not talking about this one, no, the one that you created in the classwork.
All right. Oh, so you're talking this one I created in the classwork right here.
How do I add something there?
All right. So how you add something right here, when you actually go on the create option, right? Let's say you want to add an assignment or a quiz or anything right here. Let's say we're going to add a material. We click on material. You'd actually type what you want right here. Welcome to the class. You can put additional details down there. You can attach a document or something, but how to get it under announcements? When you look over to your extreme right, where it says topic, or it says no topic, you'd actually click on the down arrow and it will show you the different topics or sections that you have in classwork. And you'd actually select announcements. Then you would click where it says post. And as you can see, that announcement, welcome to class, will be right under announcements.
All right, thanks.
No problem. Anyone else has any questions, any concerns? Anything you would like me to go over? You are free to unmute and ask at this time. Right, I don't think anybody has a question then. No problem. So what I'll be doing, I'll be sending this video to your email as well. In addition to that, I'll actually be sending persons the actual website that they can go on to literally install the emoji application. And if you can't really install it from there, I'll find another website and send you as well that you can actually find emojis online to just copy them and paste them directly in the classroom itself. So as it pertains to persons who are asking about how I did the daily register, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a link to my YouTube channel you actually can subscribe to, and I will post up that video on the YouTube channel so you can actually learn how to do it. And as I said before, it's a pretty simple process. So let me just quickly send that into the chat right now. One second. All right, so I sent the channel link into the chat. And again, you will be receiving this information, and I'll try to do the session as much as possible so you have the information going forward. And as I said again, when actually utilizing the emojis, try not to overuse it so it actually distract the students, but try to use it let's try to use it a fair amount of times so it actually engages them. So I'm going to send the link to the form for it to fill out so you can actually receive the information and stuff after the session ends. So I sent my channel link into the chat. In addition to that, I actually sent the link right there. Oh, so can all these things be done on a tablet? Yes, it can be done on a tablet. So I'm going to go on a tablet right here and actually show you. So hold on, let me just bring my next camera over here. So on a tablet, it will be the same process with some slight varying steps. So let me just switch to the next desk camera. All right, so as you can see right here, we are actually on the tablet itself, right? We can see the grade 8 class right there. And when we go down here, if we can see it clearly, to classwork, you can see the same emojis and everything that appears. But on the tablet itself now, it will slightly vary because what you have to do at classwork at the base, you'll see this is the add icon. When you click on it, you'll see topic is to the base. You click on topic. It actually brings up a box right here for you to start typing. And let's say you type something, oh, it's not showing clearly. Let's say you type something in, you'd actually utilize that same emoji on the keyboard to actually paste in, and then you add it, and it will be added as that same emoji. So it can be done on a tablet the same way that is done on the actual computer. And if you quickly go over to the class and we refresh, we'll quickly see that I just added it on the tablet. Yeah, so we just added this on the tablet and it's there as an actual emoji. So it can be done on the tablet and on the computer as well. It's the same process with the emojis. So that will be it for today's session. Remember to fill out the form in the chat so I can actually send you the materials afterwards. And apart from that, thank everyone for actually being here. And again, you can subscribe to the channel because I'll be posting more instructional videos that you can actually watch and learn a few tips and tricks on how to really change up and make your classroom a bit different. So you're all welcome. And again, I sent the form and the channel link into the chat. And again, thanks for coming, everyone. you.